If you'd like to learn how to make things blow up with explosions and bombs, keep watching and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Welcome to Roblox Snippets. For this particular project, I'd like you to open up a flat terrain project. So go ahead and click on that and let it load up. And we are good to start. The first thing that we're going to do is build a bomb, and that's where we're going to put our script. So you may notice that when you open a terrain that you don't get a spawn point. So it's probably good if you click on the workspace and plus, and then add a spawn point in, and then if you it should position it pretty well in the center, I think. It's not overly important, but we'll just get everybody facing the same way and in the same spot. So let's we'll position it at 0, 0, 0, and then hit F on here to find it. Now you'll notice that the spawn point, when you hit F and focus on it, actually pops up below the terrain, and the reason we're using terrain is so that we can blow a hole in it. Alright, now we'll move it up. So if you click on move and then move it up above the terrain, somewhere like that, then we are pretty good to go. If you want to check that it's facing forward, so we should have back, looking at back, and we're facing forward, you can right click on it and check with the hide orientator or show. Alright, so let's make a bomb. So it's just going to be a simple bomb just in front of our spawn point here. Come up to the top and click on home, and then under part click on the drop down and we will pick sphere. Okay, and I'm going to make my bomb black. You can make it any color you like. Right, and we're going to change the name of the part to be bomb. Right, we will also come down into its properties and click on anchored so that it stays where we put it. Alright, with our bomb we're going to add a fuse to it so that the fuse will burn down inside the bomb and then it will explode. So if you click on the bomb part and then the plus next to it, in the search box start typing rope constraint. Alright, and it should pop up here. So go ahead and left click on that. Now you won't see anything just yet, but don't panic. Alright, on the bomb again, we need two attachments. So we're going to click on the plus and start typing attachment, and when it pops up, add it in. Now we'll need two attachments, so you can right click on the one that's already there and duplicate it, or do the same process. We need to change the names of these by just adding at the end of the first one a 0, so not a capital O but the number 0, and the second one we need to add a 1. Okay, so this is our rope will go between these two attachments. So now click on your rope constraint, and if you're up the top here, click on visible in the properties, and then scroll down, and enable should be on, and you'll find attachment 0. So in the box next to it, left click, and you'll get this little Lego. Come up and click on attachment 0, and then attachment 1, and click on attachment 1. Now you can see there's a little orange line in here, so that's our rope. But if we move down through to the length, etc., let's change the length of the rope to say 8. Alright, and we will also change the thickness, which is up towards the top here. Let's make it 0.5, okay, so we can clearly see it. Now you'll see it's probably down below the ground, so click on one of the attachments, alright, and we will move that attachment, or one of them, up above our bomb. Okay, so let's make it attachment 1 so that it looks like that. Whoops. Okay, so you've got like a stem sticking out there. Now if you click on attachment 0, that should probably be within the middle. Now with a rope you can, if you move this out here, you'll see that it actually bends. Alright, so if you want to move that then just perhaps to the side, or just a little bit to the side, it's fine, or you can leave it straight up and down. Alright, so once we have our rope in here, we're going to give it some special effects. And the first one will be fire, okay? So in attachment 1, so make sure it's the one up the top, click on it and, whoops, and then click on the plus and start typing in the search box fire and click on plus. Okay, so once you've added fire in here, we're going to make a couple of changes to this. You can leave the heat as 9, you can play around with the colours and things, but the size, let's change that to be a little bit sort of less than what it is, and let's say make it 2, okay, so that it's just burning at the end of the fuse. And we'll change the time scale to be 0.5. Okay, maybe even 1 I think is probably, whoops, 1 there. Will it let us go 1? No, it'll only let us go 2. And so I think that should be alright. What did I have here? Yeah, okay, that will do. Now the other thing that we'll add in, just to make it look like it's a fuse, is if you click on attachment 1, we're going to get a particle emitter. So start typing in particle and it should pop up in the list. Left click on it and you'll get these this sort of effect happening here. Alright, now the settings that I've come up with, we can just go with those from the top down. So I made this 1, I made the colour a yellow sort of colour. And once again, you can play around and change these if you like. I've made the size 0.3, right, so that it's a little bit smaller. And we can scroll down a bit further in here to we get to the lifetime. Okay, we're going to change the lifetime. The minimum will be, say, 0.5, and the maximum will be 1. Okay, so that's getting a little bit closer to what we want. And what else do we do? Let's change the angle, so the spread angle here, and we'll change this to 90, and we might change this one to 90 as well. And that will give us sort of a the same, or the look of a burning fuse. All right, so you can of course play around with this and make it a little bit better if you like, and that's up to you. Alright, so we've got this burning bomb here now, and that sort of what we'll do in code is we'll make this fuse decrease down into the side inside the bomb, and then we will make it explode. So come up to our bomb part again, and we'll click on the plus and let's add a script. And we'll call this our bomb script. Right, we can get rid of the hello world and we're good to go. Alright, the first thing that we'll do in our script is we're going to deal with making the fuse burn down inside the bomb, and we're going to create a tween using tween service to do that. Alright, so we'll need a variable to handle the tween service, so ts equals game and then a colon and get service, tween service. Okay. Now, right below this, actually drop down a couple of lines, and I'll just show you how a tween is put together. So local, and we can just call this tween. All right, will equal. We take the tween service and add a colon, and then type create. Now, when you do that, it's going to ask you for 3 items. So the first one will be the instance that you want to tween. Now, in our case, we'll just put in here at the moment, actually we'll put in ATT. It's going to be short for the attachment because that's the thing that we want to move. Then add a comma, and we're going to give it some tween info. So just type info in here and then add a comma, and then a property table, and this is the goal. So we want to move our attachment from one position to another, and where it's moving to will be the goal. So we're going to add goal in here. Now you'll see they've got 3 red lines under them. That's because we haven't created them yet. So let's go ahead and we will do that now. And We'll create a variable here for the BOM itself. So BOM will equal script.parent, and if you have a look under BOM here, attachment 0 and attachment 1. Now you may need to go in here, remember we put this on attachment 1, so it's the one up above that we want to move, so we need to make a variable for this attachment 1 in our script. So let's say local att1 and will equal our BOM and then dot attachment 1. Okay, so that's the thing we want to move. So down here where I put att, just add a 1 at the end so that it that's what we're going to use. Alright, right below this now we'll deal with the info that we need to create the tween. So local info equals, and we simply say tween info, so type that and it should come out blue.new, and once you get these brackets, just go ahead and, well, you can leave it on a single line if you like, and you'll notice all these things that we need up here. So the first one is time. So this is how long it's going to take to burn the fuse, and we will just put it in as 1 second. Alright, and the next one is easing style. So we do that by saying enum.easing style, and when you hit dot, you'll get a number of explanations of what this is. So it moves at a constant speed, and we're going to go with linear. However, by all means, come back and change these and try them to see if it gives you a different effect. So I'll just add linear in here at the moment, add another comma. Now we're doing a similar thing with the direction. So we say enum.easing direction this time, drop down here and hit enter. Okay, and then dot. And once again, you get in out, so it tells you whether it'll ease in and ease out, meaning it'll sort of accelerate or slow down. I'm going to just leave it as in out for now. Then another comma. This is a repeat number. So if you want it to repeat, which we don't, and so we'll add a 0, but you could put how many times you wanted something to repeat. So you might want 1 or 2, and if you wanted to repeat forever, then you would put -1 here, and it would repeat over and over. And the last comma, it says, do you want the reverse? Do you want it to reverse? Okay, so do you want it to go backwards? And in our case, no, we don't want it to. We're just going to play it once, and then it will be done with it. So that's what it should look like when you have finished your tween info. Okay, and that takes care of our info down the bottom here. Next part is goal. So right below here we're going to create, and it expects a table, so we're going to create an empty table here. So goal equals a set of squiggly brackets, and then we're going to add in what it is that we want to add in here. So as I said, the starting position, if we come back into here, and I just open up my properties window, our attachment 1 is starting if we come down to its position here. So I'd like you to click in the position box and Command or Control C to copy these numbers, and then come back in here and we're going to add a comment, so 2 minus signs, and paste in here, because we're going to change where that attachment is to work out where our goal is, and then we want it to go back to here. Right, so once you've pasted that in, what we're going to do is make sure you've clicked on attachment 1, and I'd like you to move it down inside the BOM. So if it's a little bit to the left or right, then just move it over till it moves into near the center or something, or wherever you're happy with it is fine. And once you're happy with wherever it is inside the BOM, come down to the position again and left click inside and copy, and we'll come back to our script. Now this time, just below where we put our comment, I'd like you to type goal.position equals. Now because you might have more than one BOM, then what we want to do is get the, well actually we'll just, these are all pretty close to 0, so I think what we'll do is we'll just simply say vector3 dot new, and we'll set these all to 0. Okay, because these are close to 0, which is in the middle, and that's about where we want the thing to move to. Alright, so once you have that, you can take a copy of your commented position, so copy like this, and if we put it back into the position box and just paste it in, then we'll put it back to where it started. Alright, now that takes care of all the information we need to play our tween. Now when it comes to actually making the tween run, then we're going to we'll probably want to wait a little bit before so that we actually get to see it burn. So what we'll do is just put in a task.wait of say 8 seconds. That'll let the game load before this starts to happen, and then we'll say tween a colon and play. Alright, and with that we can give this a bit of a test. So let's click on File and Save and play. Right, I'm loaded in the game, and if I run over near my bomb, there you go, you just saw the fuse went down inside the bomb and it has finished. Alright, now nothing's happening yet because we haven't made it go bang, but if that's working for you, then you can go ahead and stop, and now we'll look at how to make it explode. A good explosion is not much good without some sounds, I think. So come up to the workspace just before we get to the exploding part, click on it, and then click on the Home tab up the top, and then Toolbox. And over in here in Marketplace, if you come down in the drop down to Audio, and inside of here, now I've used two, which you can always find your own if you like, but this one is Shooting Style. If we see if we can find that here, I think it might be a capital at the beginning there, Shooting Style, and I'll see if I can find it. Shooting Style Landing, I think it is. There it is. Okay, by Stone Jelly. It's a 3-second explosion, and you can play that. However, when you find one that you like, so you can listen to them if you like, just go ahead and left click and you'll add it into the workspace. Now the other one will be the actual fuse. So if you search again for fuse, then you'll find about the second one here by Noah 878788. Hiss Waterfall. We'll use that for our fuse, and you can click on that you'll need to go back to the workspace and then insert that one as well, if that's going to work. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and once you've got those couple of sounds, then you can close the toolbox and we can add those in up the top here. So just after or just before the goal, let's create one here for local bang FX. Right, and that will be workspace dot shooting style landing for one sound, and the other local fuse FX equals workspace dot fuse, and it'll bring it up like this because it's got brackets and things around it. Okay, and we can make use of those very shortly. So there are our two sounds. Now the next thing to think about is we're waiting for our bomb to go off. When the tween is played, which means that the fuse has burnt down, now we want to create or tell when the tween is finished, and that's when we'll do the bomb. So right below this, we're going to type in tween dot completed, and then a colon, and connect a function to this with a set of brackets. I move outside, and we will write our code in here for creating the actual bomb. Right, so the first thing we want to do is to play our bang FX. So we can type that with a colon and say play, and that will make the explosion sound. Next, we're going to create the actual explosion. So local, and we'll call it bang or boom if you like, equals instance.new, and explosion is the thing that we are making. Now we'll change some properties of this. So bang dot visible, we want to see it, and we'll set this to true. Then we can say bang dot blast radius. Now if you read this, this is the area around the explosion that's going to be affected. You can make it very big or small. We'll say 20 for the time being, but this is in studs and you can change this. Okay, so bigger bigger number, bigger for more area, just to remind you of what it's for. Right, the next one is bang.blast pressure. Okay, now this is to do with how much damage is done, and you can set this as high as you want, but we'll say 10,000. Okay, that should do a little bit of damage for us, but by all means try bigger ones if you wish. And now the position that we want the explosion to happen, so we'll say bang.position, position, we will make it at the name of, so the actual bomb that it's connected to, so bomb.position. Alright, and then we will pick the explosion type. So we say enum.explosion type dot. Now you get two options here, craters, okay, generates craters. Now that's why we picked a terrain template in here, because it will blow holes in the ground for us. Or you can pick no craters, so it won't actually damage the terrain, but we will go ahead and pick on craters so that you can see what sort of damage gets done. Now that makes for all of the visual and how it affects things. Now we need to add in a part to say what will happen when the explosion hits something. So we say bang dot hit, and we're going to add a colon and connect a function. And inside here it takes two parameters, so the part that it hits and another one for distance. Alright, so it should look like that. Now you can use the distance to determine how much damage is done. Like if you're further away it'll do less damage than if you are close, but for us we're just going to worry about the part and making something happen with it when it gets hit by the explosion. And the first thing that we'll do with any part hit by the explosion is change its anchored to be false, because we want to blow it up and make it move. And when that happens, we want to give that part some velocity. So we're going to say assembly, okay, angular velocity, and we'll set this to be vector3.new 0, and we'll put in here 500 by 0. Now you can play with that number if you wish, make it bigger or smaller, just to see how it affects things. I tested this and I thought this looked pretty good. So, and I'm going to say, we're going to change the brick color of anything that gets hit to say brick color.new, and we'll set it to be black, okay, like it's burnt from an explosion. Now after you blow things up, they'll just be lying all over the place, and we really want to clean up that mess. So we're going to use the debris service. So scroll right back up to the top where we have our services, and we'll create a new one, local DS, short for debris service, and that will be game, get service, and debris. Okay, no service at the end, it just says debris. And the way we use that is down here where we're blowing things up, the part that that has been hit and turned black, we want to say DS, debris service, colon, and then add item. So we're going to add the part as the item that we want to get rid of, and how long is it before we want to wait, or want to wait before it's removed, and we'll say 10 seconds. And once again, you can play with these numbers to see how it works for you, and you'll see how that works shortly. Last thing we want to do is we want to parent our explosion, so parent, and we're going to just simply say game.workspace to put it into the workspace so that it will explode. Alright, now we'll click on File and Save and give this a quick test, and let's see what it does. Alright, loaded in, waiting for it, and I'm fairly close here. Alright, there we go, our explosion went off, and then this went running off over here, but it did blow a big hole in the ground for us. Okay, so that's what our craters do when you have terrain. So if that's working for you, we'll just add one more thing at the end, and then you can see how it affects parts. So we'll just stop that there. Okay, so the last thing to test with this is to see how parts work with it. So if you come into your workspace again here, and we come up the top to our part here, and we'll just pick a block part, and you can just make this say 4 by 4 by 4, so a square, and come down and anchor it, because remember we unanchor the parts that get hit anyway. So, and all we're going to do here is we might right click on group as a model and call this our parts model. Right, and then you can go through and duplicate this part by just click on the part itself and Command or Control D, or you can right click and duplicate, and then move this out and just make a few parts around your bomb. Alright, that might represent a house or some other building, etc. Alright, so I won't do too many, but by all means go ahead and make as many as you like. Alright, so we've got a few parts around here, and let's click on File and Save and see if we can blow those up. Right, we're just waiting for our bomb. There it goes. And you'll notice that those parts got blown out. Now, if you keep watching the parts that have all turned black, after 10 seconds the debris service turns those off for us, and we're just left with the hole in the ground. Alright, now there are some other things. This is just for beginner explosions. You can cater these to not blow holes in the ground, whether it actually does damage and how much damage it does to the players, etc. So, but for a beginner, this is very, very good. Now, if you did want to look at anything else, you can click on the plus in the workspace, type in explosion, and add one into the workspace. Come down and find it. Wherever it went, there it is, and you can check out the properties down here, destroy joint radius, etc., and have fun blowing things up. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. If you found this video useful, subscribe now. For more information about my online courses, go to mrbrendanross.com.